Vidunoti Suritsatam Nastapreshu Badreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyutama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So today is another verse about the great and wonderful passing away of King Mahabharata and taking another body. And it's also a very long no, it's not so long. Okay, everybody has a text of the verse. Okay.
You can just read the
Translation? Yeah. Okay.
27? Yes.
27, yeah. So okay, I do the word to word, we repeat and then I write the words. Tadaninam, at that time, Abi, indeed, Varvartinam, by the side of his deathbed, Atmajam, his own son, Eva, like Anushuchantam, lamenting, Abhivik Shamana, seeing, Vijay, in the deal, Eva, certainly, Abhiniveshita Mana, his mind was absorbed, Vishrija, giving up, Lokam, world, Imam, this, Saha, with, Vijena, the deer, Kalevaram, his body, Ritam, died, Anu, thereafter, Na, not, Mrita, destroyed, Janma Anusmrita, Smriti, remembrance of the incident before his death. Itaravat, like others. Mriga Sariram, the body of a deer. Avapa, goat. Translation. At the time of death, the king saw that the deer was sitting near his side, exactly like his own son, and was lamenting his death. Actually, the mind of the king was absorbed in the body of the deer, and consequently, like those bereft of Krishna consciousness, he left the world, the deer, and his material body, and acquired the body of a deer. However, there was one advantage. Although he lost his human body and received the body of a deer, he did not forget the incidents of his past life. Srila Prabhupada. There was a difference between Bharata Maharaj acquiring a deer body and others acquiring different bodies according to their mental condition at the time of death. After death, others forget everything that happened in their past lives, but Bharata Maharaj did not forget. According to Bhagavad Gita, Yam Yam Vapis Maram Bhavan Tyanti Kalevaram Tatam Evaiti Kaunteya Sadatat Bhava Bhavatat Bhavita. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, this state he will attain without any fail. Bhagavad Gita 8:6. After quitting this body, this body. A person gets another body according to his mental condition at the time of death. At death, a person will always think of that subject matter in which he has been engrossed during his life. According to this law, because Bharat Maharaj was always thinking of the deer and forgetting his worship of the Supreme Lord, he acquired the body of a deer. However, due to his having been elevated to the topmost platform of devotional service, he did not forget the incidents of his past life. This special benediction saved him from further deterioration. Due to his past activities in devotional service, he became determined to finish his devotional service even in the body of a deer. It's therefore said in this verse, Mritam, although he has died, Anu afterwards, na Mritam Janmanusritim Itaravat, he did not forget this incident of his past life, as others forget them. As stated in Brahma Samhita, Karmani Nirdahati Kitucha Bhakti Vajam, Brahma Samhita 554, which means it's proof hearing that due to the grace of the Supreme Lord, the devotee is never vanquished. Due to his willful neglect of devotional service, a devotee may be punished for a short time, but he again revives his devotional service and returns home back to Godhead. Yamuna just passed the exam of Bhakti Vriksha course. Bhakti Shastra course.
I didn't pass it and I
Yamuna is safe.
Congratulations.
This verse, I liked it very much because it speaks of more or less all of us before Krishna consciousness, during Krishna consciousness, and maybe after our death with Krishna consciousness. Because Prabhupada called the one who are, I would say, not God conscious, or not interested in the one who are not interested in God, as others. Others could be many people, but when we finish the text, the purpose and purport, and we say that Prabhupada speak there to the one who are really into devotional service, but due to a fall down, and he used the word willful neglected of devotional service. Means they really wanted to let devotional service. It was just not just a mistake like this. It was fully conscious, with full consciousness of what they were doing. But in this case, like King Bharata, he was conscious of what he was doing when he became attached to this deer. Then after the deer took all the place in his heart. But because of this very, very complete and wonderful devotion he had before, the Lord came and with a special mercy saved him from this, saved him by this gap between his previous life and his life in the spiritual world. And this gap was to be him as himself in a body of a deer. That he knew a lot. He knew very well this body. So he was of course a little bit, and maybe a lot ashamed of what he did, because he had this incredible chance, fortune to remember what he was before the deer and during the deer period. So it was okay. What I do?
Little bit. I will just.
Okay. Sorry. And first of all, you have to please excuse my English, which is like a Spanish cow speaking English, and also my emotion state. I'm very emotional person. So the word mercy resounds in me, because there are so many cases of person who got special mercy in the Srimad Bhagavatam. For example, so many, in fact. Everywhere you find people who got the mercy. And I have also to make a little blanket before going into it, because when I discovered the Srimad Bhagavatam, I had a big chance to have a wonderful speaker in front of me, and this speaker was so enlivening and taking really the essence of each verse that I was interested. But when I was myself reading Srimad Bhagavatam, I was discovering that this wonderful person we were speaking on, they all had so many problems with Krishna with their consciousness. They were going through so many problems very often. So I was thinking, okay, even if when we are really important person and very advanced and we have so many problems, what about me? I could not understand where I was fitting in this configuration. But of course, by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam very often, as it said, we make progress, and I understood that it's not because we are very important that we are protected. I mean, even very important person in Krishna consciousness, that we are automatically protected. And
what do you mean?
That you can fall. Maya is always there. And once I heard this lila in the Memories of Srila Prabhupada. A devotee wanted to take sannyas at the beginning. Many were taking sannyas quite easily, in fact, because Prabhupada needed sannyasis. And he was not sure, and he went to, I will not say names, he went to an advanced devotee, and he asked his what he was thinking of this idea. And the devotee said, are you sure, because it's such a small thing, to become a sannyas, you should think Prabhupada was really chastising him a lot. Yes. But why, how did you decide to marry? And the devotee also bewildered completely, didn't know exactly what to do, what to think, what to say. He said, but you know, I was thinking taking sannyas, but I spoke to an elder devotee, and speaking with him, I realized that I was not ready to do. Prabhupada said, "Who is this devotee? How and how did you decide?" I said, I still have sex desires, you know. And Prabhupada said, "But everybody has sex desires. Everybody has sex desires. You're not the only one. And we are not, it's normal. As long as you will be in this body, you will have sex desires. But now this devotee, he ruined you, he ruined your desire to become sannyas." And I thought it was such a big statement, because this, I think you're convinced now. I mean,
He took sannyas finally, but
no.
he married.
But he was not ruined. He had a nice life, being married. And maybe after, I don't know his own life, his own life, you know, but
The marriage was okay.
yes. But it seems that he was the perfect candidate for sannyas. He was very humble, and voilà. So I just wanted to answer that. And so here we are. Maybe not anymore the others, as Prabhupada says, the one who are not interested in God, or who are not interested to make progress in their consciousness, let's say. And from between this Mahabharata, maybe who knows, maybe one of us or many of us will take for a short time one of these bodies who are just the front door of the spiritual world. But who knows? We don't know. So it's also a point I want you to say, that it's very important not to judge people, because we change, and even to those who made so much service for Krishna and Prabhupada, and made some by willfully made some paths on the side. We cannot say what it will be, or what is their future, what has been their future. It's important not to judge, even amongst us. You know, it's very important. We can have some affinity with someone, or less affinity with someone. It's normal. We can even disagree, and that is a point that Prabhupada wanted us to understand. That it's very, very important to disagree, not to disagree, but to be able to find some middle way in order to collaborate with each other. And this mercy, this subject matter of mercy, it seems to be very, very important, because without Krishna's mercy, under a form or another, we would not be here. We would not be there to Srimad Bhagavatam class. We would be somewhere else, waiting for some mercy to either to come to us, or us to see this mercy, because Krishna's mercy is everywhere. That's true. We could be touched by Krishna's mercy in so many ways, and it can be also to see the beauty of the nature, the kindness of someone toward us. That's why the mode of goodness is really the first, let's say the last step in the material life to allow us to really be more permeable, something which let the water go through.
Strain.
Penetrate.
Yes, to let us be penetrated by Krishna's mercy when it comes. And I have a few ideas somewhere here. Sorry. Yes, and who are the one who gave us the special mercy, not the type of Maharaj Bharata received, but a very special mercy. Of course, it's Srila Prabhupada first, or a devotee of Srila Prabhupada, and all the books of Srila Prabhupada, and then the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and all the paramparas who gave us their special mercy. This mercy can also have other face, like occurs, for example, the two sons of Kuvera, who were cursed to become trees. That's not the life of a deer to be a tree. It's a little longer. It's true, but sometimes I was thinking, when Prabhupada or the Vedas speak about the trees, they all speak about the wonderful generosity of the tree which give us the shadow when it's sun, it's over all that, in fact. And you can also lay beneath a tree. But otherwise, the life of a tree, it must be very, very, very long, and hopefully they don't have so much consciousness to really realize it. Or I hope for them that it's not the best we could think. So I thought of these two extremes of benediction, because it's also benediction since they had been then saved by. They were two trees, no? Arjuna trees. I don't remember how they became delivered. Krishna.
Krishna.
It was Arjuna's trees.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I thought we don't have the trees. Sorry, Krishna. Sorry, Prabhupada. Sorry, everyone. And of course they were also caused by Narada, because since they didn't pay attention to Narada's presence, and they were continuing to have fun with ladies and in naked state, and they were not at all surprised to see Narada. They continued, so Narada was really, really, really angry. And Narada himself, I don't remember, maybe Babu, you could answer that Narada, before being the celestial being he was, and the Mahajan he was a little, when he was a little child, he got the mercy to get the chance to become the Narada we know. But before, I think he also himself had made something wrong.
No.
Yeah. Somebody could find out, maybe.
What, Narada made something wrong?
Yes.
What's another wrong?
That's a question.
Mataji knows.
I'm sure they did.
She knows.
Yes. I understand people better when I put my glasses on.
My memory is not so great, but what I can remember, for first thing was that he didn't want to become a married man. He didn't want to be grihastha. So he offended Lord Brahma because Lord Brahma is his father, and he went against him, you know, and said, "Look, I really don't want, you know, I want to."
So it was a mistake, but it was not such a huge mistake, but
That was
it
the
was a
first one.
mistake.
Yeah. and then Lord Brahma sent him, said, "Okay, he'll curse." He cursed him to take a, you know, a different other
human
birth.
body.
No, not yet human. He was a Gandharva. He cursed him to be like really have lots of wives, you know.
That's right. I knew we were going somewhere like this. Yes.
And he was a Gandharva, and he had a company of lots of ladies. He had like maybe 50 wives. I don't remember exactly, but then he was in this kind of not serious mood, you know.
Yeah.
And he went somewhere and he was singing kirtan, but singing like in frivolous mood or something like this. It was like he was still looking at girls and this and that, you know. And because of this mistake, yes, they cursed him like you're doing wrong. You're like in the assembly of saintly devotees, but you're doing wrong. And they sent him to the human birth. And then by mercy.
Thank you so much. Because I was wondering, I know that something was wrong with Narada as well. So we can see that we still have hope.
Can you repeat it, please? So the first offense he did against his father was like he rejected his instruction to become married.
Right.
Brahma.
He rejected that.
But this is not from Srimad
Brahma was his
This is
father.
from Brahma Vavarta Purana.
Brahma was his father, and then he cursed him to become a Gandharvas.
And then he had to have 50 wives. or
I
something.
mean, he had maybe not 50.
So
I
he
don't
was
remember
singing
exactly, but
beautifully.
lots of wives.
He was singing so beautifully that of course all the ladies were after him, maybe. And I'm doing, I don't know, but it's something like that. And he was just chanting, but it was not anymore as a kirtan with a spirit of pleasing the Lord. It was just for sense gratification. And then he was again cursed by.
This I don't remember, unfortunately. I can check.
You're forgiven.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
It's okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, the mercy of the Lord is adapting itself, if we can say, by parampara. Paramatma, sorry. Paramatma is like a judge, and he's giving us what we want. That's what Sureshwara Prabhu told me, that he was like a judge, and I like this explanation. A judge is a good person, let's say. This one is this, and just give what we deserve. And so the mercy of the Lord can also be under the form of something which is not pleasing at all. A sickness, bad thoughts because we are thinking too much we are listening too much our mind, so the mind is happy and go on and go on. Or physical problems can be. So that's also mercy, because ultimately we are supposed to go back to Godhead. This human form of life is done to go home back to Godhead. Otherwise, we are spoiling this form of life. There is also a nice picture, images we see in French to explain the mercy of the Lord. Like the rain is going, you may know it. But very often when we go to class, we listen to things we know already. But I think every speaker has another way to say. I hope for them they have a better English than me and less emotionated. But this picture I like, so I will repeat it for you. It is that box is a little bit changed of form, change of this form, but not so much. The sea has so much water in it that doesn't change so much. But the earth immediately sucks the water, and because the earth is made of so many nutrients and seeds and whatever, the life is growing there from the earth. So the mercy of the Lord is the same. If it's full of someone who is not at all interested, like a rock, it will just go away and maybe go to someone else around. If it goes on the water, it will just the same go, be not understood, let's say. And if it goes on the earth, if this person is like the earth and waiting for the rain to come, then it will bring fruits. So we should be cultivate this attitude to be like the earth, waiting and waiting for water. And if I didn't went too much on Mahabharata's case, because before me there were so many lectures about this, and after me there will still be many lectures after me, and I was feeling more at ease to speak about mercy, because I need it, and I will need mercy, such a lot mercy on me. So that's why I like to speak about mercy. And about Srila Prabhupada speaking like this to a devotee, Srila Prabhupada, he knew a little bit, not a little bit, he knew a lot more than us how to judge people or understand people. So he knew exactly what to say and what not to say to everyone. That's why we sometimes, even by hearing Srila Prabhupada's classes, or overall the whole conversation or the conference he gave, we may be surprised sometimes of answers he gave to the public or to the devotees as well. That's because he knew how to read the heart of the person, or at least understand the goal of the question which was posed to him. Because people sometimes want to challenge. We want to challenge, or we want to get the answer we want to hear. And Prabhupada didn't want it that. He wanted just to give the answer who will just bring us to make us more Krishna conscious. I'm sure there's only other things to say, but I think for me it's okay. I don't know if you have some more questions or revelation.
Thank you so much for your lecture. Since the verse begins with "at the time of death," the king saw that the deer was sitting by his side. I was thinking maybe you can say something about this time of death and how important it is that we have the mercy then, and maybe you know also more about how the process of death.
Oh, I don't know so much the process of death. I've been in front of death since I was small girl, because my mother died when I was 7, but I didn't know, I didn't see it. And of course we know devotees, so it's another story. But I think that I've never been in front of somebody on the point to die. But I'm sure that we are trying to catch something, to get safe. I don't know, we are looking for safety. We are looking for someone who is there and who can held our hands or something like this. I'm sure we are trying to not, even if this body is maybe in a very bad condition, we don't want to leave this body normally. Devotees, I even didn't see devotees leaving their bodies, but I know that one of the women who was my little mother when I joined, she was living in Canada, and I know that she died quite peacefully, even if she was very, very, very sick. She didn't want medicine, and she wasn't complaining about her condition. So I think that it's really personal. And to have someone who cry for you, maybe not helpful to let you go. So to have this little deer, I even didn't know that deer could cry. You should do something like this, but as he knew her very nicely, he could maybe understand her language. So to have someone really crying for keeping you, or already crying for your death, it must not be the best solution. That's why he didn't help him. He didn't help him to go back to his previous life as a devotee. But I was thinking this morning about the name escaped.
En français.
No, c'est the name of the devotee. The one who was a very good devotee, and he became lost in the deep ignorance with a prostitute who became his wife.
Jamila.
Thank you.
Jamila.
So Jamil, I was thinking a little bit. We cannot make a real comparison, because in fact he had a son, and his son was called Narayan. So he was saved by his son called him, because he called his son Narayan. Even if he was not in a perfect Krishna conscious spirit, who I don't know, in fact, if he was really calling his son because it was his son, or because he reminds him of Narayan. I don't know that. I don't know if it's written somewhere, but that's the beauty of the Bhagavatam, because each time you find some other cases a little bit different, and each time you can see the mercy of the Lord in a way or another.
She has a question?
Yes, I understood.
Вы сказали, что страдание это тоже милость.
You said that sufferings are also mercy.
В этой связи у меня вопрос, потому что мне кажется, что Кришна не хочет, чтобы мы страдали. И есть разница, в моем лексиконе есть разница между страданиями и испытаниями. То есть, если мы выбрали физическое тело, мы подвержены страданиям, это очевидно. Но если мы идем по пути преданного служения, Кришна может присылать нам испытания, не страдания, а испытания. Вот я хотела уточнить, правильно ли я понимаю разницу.
She said that in her dictionary she has two terms. One is sufferings, and the second one is like testing situations, tests from Krishna. And she said, I feel that when we follow Krishna path, we don't suffer, but Krishna gives us testing situations. And am I correct?
Yes, absolutely. But sometimes it can be painful. also of your past lives, because there are some, as we were saying yesterday, maybe I don't know if you were there. We were speaking about some anartha which are still to grow. I don't know if it's enough for you.
And can I add something quickly?
Yes, of course.
A little thought also on this point. I think it also depends on our consciousness, because even in Krishna consciousness amongst devotees, we see that different devotees are on different levels, and someone is more advanced, someone is less advanced. And if the consciousness is quite low, then we view these like testing situations as sufferings actually, and devotees also can suffer. But if the consciousness is higher, like more advanced, then such a devotee can view it as just a test from Krishna.
Yes, also this is correct. But in this material world, suffering and enjoyment is so near, they are so near. We are always looking for enjoyment, but the suffering is there, and after the suffering is disappearing, but I mean, it's always one beside the other. Sometimes go even together.
Yeah, something.
And yes, it depends on the consciousness, but the consciousness is something very, very, it's a huge question. We can be very happy now, and in about 10 minutes something wrong happens, and we are devastated. So to be Krishna conscious would mean to be, we cannot be unaffected by something very wrong and very painful, but we can just take shelter. Try to take shelter. Ask Krishna to give us the will to take shelter. And when we have something wonderful happening, we can just ask Krishna to please don't let this happiness cancel and make me forget
Yes.
that this material world is a place of suffering, and that it will not length, it will not continue all the time. It doesn't mean we cannot enjoy the things which are good and which are not, because you can have pleasure thanks to the suffering of someone. That's not the good one. But if you have some pleasure which is innocent, let's say, it doesn't mean you cannot enjoy, and we should always think, okay, no, it will not last, I don't have to be happy because it will finish anyway. We can, but we have to be aware.
Thank you so much.
Voilà. Thank you for your patience, for your listening. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Я, в принципе, тогда
подушки.
Самый оптимистичный.
And he said,
Конечно.
and he said, I have many clients amongst devotees, or even amongst Srila disciples whom I have. And he said, I have one client currently. I'm working with him. He is a sannyasi, and he wants to commit a suicide. Can you imagine? It's a real situation. Like, he said, I'm just helping him not to do this, but yeah, it's so. That you will say, yeah, it's a serious decision.
I think it's a good thing that to know that some devotees are taking the responsibility, the charge to make psychotherapy for the devotee. I think it's important because it's true that we have a wonderful goal and we have a wonderful also sadhana practice, beautiful. I really think the person when she is by her own or his own like this, you know, it's not so easy to conceal the perfection and our own situation. It's really interesting. You understand? Yes. Where are you from?
Oh, I live here now, but I this book.
Wait, I thought you had a job sitting here.
No, I have. It's my first time I get the mercy to see you.
Really? No, because you know, I come from time to time. The last time I came was in summer.
In summer.
Uh-huh.
In summer I was in Navagokula a lot. Maybe
I see.
we missed each other. Yes.
And also because I live in Geneva and sometimes I go to the Bhaktivedanta Manor in London. Because with the flying plane, it's the same length of time.
Oh,
that
look,
you come.
it's a happy to see you.
And I also go to France sometimes.
France and
What is your name?
Bakamalini Devi Dasi.
Bhagamalini. Thank you. You gave me such a nice instruction and a nice information about Narada.
I was very curious when I was reading ancient Bhagavatam. I was very, very curious about, the whole story. And
Yes.
somehow Krishna gave me this mercy to
Yes.
read about Narada Muni more detail. And I was very, very happy to read also that, even the way he appeared was very, very special. His mother was also she was a special Vaishnavi.
The second time?
Yes, the
very first
human
time.
birth.
Yes,
Human
yes.
birth was also very special.
Yes. She was comment dire en français, une fille générale animation.
Her husband left the body when they wanted to have a child, and they couldn't have a child for many, many years. And they were very pious, like kind of how to put sugar king or something. Like you have like also Vaishya king, like Nanda Maharaj. He's like Vaishya king, right? He's not a Kshatriya, but he's still king. So something like this, they were ruling some kind of village or something like this. They were king and queen, but they weren't brahmanas, right? And very, very pious, very like devoted, but they didn't have children. So they wanted to, so he said to her, like he said, okay, you try to get a child from some sadhu, like this. At that age, you could, she was asking for kind of like, please give me the sperm, something like this.
He asked her.
The
husband
sent her, said, look, when we leave the body, we need the son to look after us, to give us the pinda and everything like this. So he sent her to this, and she saw, I think it was Kardamon. But maybe
That is the Vahuti. No, some other.
No, but
just to
there
get
is
this.
maybe also the names are maybe the same. I don't know. But anyhow,
Yes.
it's starting with K, but I might be wrong, so I better not say. So there was
In the golden age, during the golden age.
this I don't know. I don't think so because in golden age there was no Varnashrama, there was no Brahmana Kshatriya, there was only one case, like there was no division like this. So must have been later, I don't know when. And so she was standing there very humbly, and he was meditating, he came out of the trance and he saw her and he said, so what do you want? And she said, well, we need the son, like what to do, And he was so angry. He said, oh, you're a Shudra, was so like angry. And at that time, some Apsara came, and he saw the Apsara, and he couldn't control himself, and the sperm came out. And she actually picked up the sperm.
I think that's,
You know,
I think that's
and she was, that's how Narada came, you know, and then
very special.
yes, and then what happened was the husband was very very happy when the child came. He said, now my life is successful. Now I can leave my body happily. He went to some pilgrimage, some holy place. He went, and he left the body there very soon after. So then she went to the same Muni to as a servant, as a maid servant, you know, like that. He looked after
He
her.
was pacified. Yeah,
Yeah,
understood
yeah.
that he himself wasn't so perfect.
So yes,
So
she went to the same Muni to
So
serve
she
him.
said, look, I cannot do anything. I have a child, please, you know,
And
can
this
I
is
look
your
up-
child.
like, he was looking after her as a daughter, you know. He was like, he had the ashram with all his disciples and everything. She was doing something, and then the four Kumaras came there.
Ah, really?
Yes, and four
They're
Kumaras,
they're
brothers, but of course he didn't remember that.
He
in
didn't
the child.
remember.
Yes,
Yes,
he didn't remember that. Yes, yes. So
I remember to have read that he was with his mother in an ashram, and many sages were passing by.
And he served
and
them.
that's why he served them. This mother and son was serving them, and he received the knowledge like this. But maybe it's a little more. It's a little more.
it was so special for me to know, and it was Sanat Kumaras, you know, who gave him this fire.
that you just.
I'm so happy to share this, because sometimes they also start like thinking, oh, you know, Narada Muni came from such a bad birth and this and that. Yes, of course, human birth is not great, but I mean, his mother
The
was a
son
great
of Brahma.
Vaishnavi.
Sorry to be the son of Brahma. It's not
But even in a child, like in the human birth, he had a very auspicious situation, you know.
Of course.
And to think, when
That's
you're
a
5 years old, to think, oh, my mother left the body, how lucky I am, you know? How, you know? Like, this is he was
special
consciousness.
consciousness.
He
She
was
also left the house.
yeah, she left the body.
Yes, and
It's
he
a mistake,
served. Yes, and this is how he became Narada. Thank you.
but he was Narada already.
Already.
His name was already Narada.
But I mean, as a
Yes,
with the son personality, he developed his.
As you know many things about him. Was he also playing the Veena? Or the Veena? Oh, he was a Gandhara in another life.
So
Ah,
like
he
he must
get
have
this-
played
he
everything.
get this gift.
But I know that at one time, I don't know which point, which birth or which part, but I know that also in Kyrgyz Media it stated that there was a city, a planetary city, anyhow, that he visited, and he saw everybody like really kind of like twisted bodies, and somebody had no knees, somebody had a twisted back, like all beings, they were really suffering. And
A
Narada Muni
lower
was saying,
planet.
huh?
A lower planet.
Narada Muni was asking, what is this, you know, what's wrong with you? What's happened, you know? And they told him, you know, there is a special saintly person, his name is Narada Muni, you know, and he's playing all the ragas and everything, would have talked her out of it, but it's not true.